Times Square is the biggest tourist destination in the country and the seventh largest tourist destination in the world. From its incredible, brilliant neon lights to its life-size billboards, Broadway shows, tourist shops, or luxurious hotels, Times Square has always been one of the most iconic places in the world. But in March 2020, everything changed. In 2019, the 67 million tourists in New York City spent a total of more than $118 billion on hotels, restaurants, tourist shops, and tourist attractions. However, in 2020, as a result of the global shutdown, the record growth of tourism in New York City came to an abrupt end. The number of tourists in New York City fell sharply. As a result of the drastic decrease, the amount that tourists as a whole spent during their visits to New York City decreased from $80.3 billion to $13 billion.
Pre-pandemic, we welcomed about 365,000 people a day into Times Square. Almost overnight, that March 12th, those numbers went down to about 35,000 people. And those were the essential workers who came to our city to help us through the pandemic. They were the store owners, the people who sell you your food. They were the military that came to help with the COVID testing.
Owners of tourist shops and people who run their own food stands were reported to only have about 2 customers a day when they were open, struggling to keep their businesses alive. Here's what they have to say about their experience during the height of the pandemic.
Yeah, it was a great impact actually, because that time people was very scared about it, and it is too much spread due to the media. So, and people doesn't come out, people doesn't want to move. Yeah, we are 6 to 7 months we are off. We did not open the store. We just completely closed, and lots of employees are layoffs, didn't get paid, and no works. So it's actually very hard time we passed. COVID was a very, very remarkable time for us.
We've been depending on the saving that we did it for the previous years. So we lost a lot in the pandemic.
The drastic decrease in tourism in 2020 resulted in great financial loss and caused businesses to come up with creative ways in order to survive the pandemic.
So I think that we showed our creativity through the pandemic. The Alliance and I think the entire Broadway community found ways to bring culture to people's homes. And we stepped up with our programming, and we did a lot virtually, so people couldn't come to Times Square, but we welcomed Times Square into their homes. We were able to do all of our signature events through the pandemic, including the annual New Year's Eve event, even that first year. So there have been ups and downs with the different variants. We've seen starts and stops. I think right now we are on a trajectory upward.
As a way to encourage shops to rehire workers, New York City announced a nation-leading COVID relief package intended to support New York City's hardest-hit tourism workers and revitalize the state's tourism industry.
We're also going to work to help our businesses. A lot of businesses, just how much longer do I have to hold on? How much longer? We're announcing a $100 million return to work grant program. And we're incentivizing the tourism businesses, the non-for-profits, including the culturals, to rehire their workers sooner. We know you can put them to use. And I know financially it doesn't make sense. That's why we're going to help you out. Bring them back now. Hold on to them for at least 6 months, and we'll give you $5,000 for every full-time employee added, and you keep over 6 months. Let's help those businesses as well.
On Saturday night, we welcomed 338,000 people to Times Square. As we started to recover, we were also a symbol of the resolve of New York City, of Times Square, and it is great to have 35 Broadway shows open now, to be welcoming those 300,000 plus people. I think every one of the 140 members of the Times Square Alliance team feels a sense of ownership in the neighborhood, and it certainly is good to see us rebounding and recovering.
For sure, I feel better. Everybody, the life coming back to the business and New York, so I feel good.
I am positive, and actually I'm gonna make it like an example like that. When you stop the water gonna pile up, and when you open the gate, you're gonna be before. It's gonna be happen right now like that. So I'm very positive. Yeah, gonna be happen like people gonna come when everything gonna be normal.
It was a very good time when they all came back. It was a really good time. Honestly, it's a pride and joy for the performers. I know how hard it is to like actually come back from that, so it is pride.
When this industry rises and comes back, that'll be the best indicator that we as a state will rise and be back. This industry is critically important to our psyche. This defines us. This is why people view us as the most exciting, most vibrant, most engaging place on this planet. That is the essence of New York City. That is the essence of New York State. We want the rest of the world to know that our arms are open. Welcome to New York.